Greetings, family. Welcome to Pan-Africanism Towards Nationhood, building a global Black business pipeline. And family, we're back at it again. And tonight we got something special for you right there. And that is the focus on Liberia, Journey of a Lifetime, family. Yes, we're going to Liberia, March 29th to April 9th, 2024. Reconnection and investment tour. So we're taking it to a whole level, not just tours, investment, reconnection. And family, this is the African analysis with your brother Bomani Tamba here and Kala Genesis. And we are back in business. We're back in business. We've been Kala has been hard at work. He's been grading people. So family, you're gonna hear more about Kala Genesis grading the movement and the productivity. And myself, we had to lay low for a little bit because we had to focus on one of our most incredible journeys of a lifetime. That was Tanzania, November 29th. Journey that just ended. Literally just finished our journey in Tanzania. That was for November 17th to the 28th. And that journey took you to where places where your body probably shouldn't be moving around. So let me tell you a great example: from Atlanta to Amsterdam, Amsterdam to Kilimanjaro, Kilimanjaro to Arusha, Arusha to Zanzibar Island, Zanzibar Island to Dar es Salaam, Dar es Salaam back to Amsterdam, and back to Atlanta, Georgia. And all in between that, you're on tour and you're moving around, and you learn about the roots, the culture, the history of the country. You also enjoying paradise, enjoying beautiful beaches, and then enjoying incredible cuisine. So as I tell you about Liberia, family, all these other journeys that we're doing, we're working our way to get to Liberia, and we're gonna talk more about that incredible journey. But yes, so we've been laying low and processing what's going on in this Pan-African movement. And I'm here to tell people, like, as soon as I got back here, it's just back to work. And even while you're out on the move, you're working, you have your phone, your computer, and you have deals and things going on. So I want to let people know, if we're going to be talking about Pan-Africanism, it's something that you got to get actively into. You have to live that life. You can't have all this free time to be on YouTube making all these videos talking about this other folks and this other people and things like that. I'm ashamed to say, man, people have watered down our incredible movement, and I've dedicated my life to for 18 plus years, and in the practical business of doing Pan-Africanism work for the last 16 years with our Africa Tours and Investment Program and our Black Star Pan-African community over the last few years. And Brother Kala has dedicated, I want to say, up to 30 years, Kala, focus on Liberia.
In Africa, all Africa and Liberia. I've been studying Africa for 32 years, and I've been studying Liberia for about 30 years.
Perfect, family. So you can get a perfect introduction from our good brother Kala. But what I want to show you, family, is that flyer that we have up. And that is, let me actually just clear this right here real quick. And I'm going to blow up this journey here. All right, so there you go, Kala, right there. Those are the dates right there. So those are future dates right there, family. We're working towards connecting you to the different aspect of Liberia. Multiple city tour throughout Liberia, Monrovia, Robert Sports, Buchanan, and more. And also, Kala gonna break it down about Sanequeli and the form of the UNIA operation. Excuse me, I keep on thinking about everything is in mind is always about UNIA, but the Organization of African Union, OAU, the original African Union. You know what I mean? As you now know, it's African Union AU. So they took out the obviously the old part. They took out the organization aspects.
It's not the same organization. That was back then was a real black Pan-African organization. This right here is a geopolitical expedient organization for corrupt dictators and all this kind of multinational corporations and everything like that to loot Africa. That's what the African Union is. I call it the African Union. You know,
Absolutely, it's a different ball game. You know, when you go to places like I was in Tanzania, when you go to some of the museum, you'll see it right there. You'll see it, when you talk about the Liberia group, you'll see right there all of the, you know, the revolutionary leaders from the Anglophone countries organized together, and then you even seen pictures with the groups of all of the circle figures that eventually formed that operation. But it's a different African Union family. So when we talk about Pan Africanism, that was like Pan Africanism as its finest. But since the so-called independence of the different countries, what
right.
you have as Pan Africanism is watered down to a T, including to where it just goes in and out of people's mouth like it's nothing, And there are a few people that's being portrayed as Pan Africanists. So I don't want to be the one to call it the name out, but I'm sure Kala gonna give them grades out sooner or later as far as about who's really serious about this movement or not.
Yeah, this is what I want to say. As far as like back then, remember something? Pan Africanism was born in the West, right? It's not. It wasn't indigenous to Africa, right? The African leaders, for the most part, were educated in the West. The African leaders that met with each other in places like Paris, London, and Amsterdam, New York, Boston, wherever the diaspora was, right, were indigenous people from the African continent and Africa. They all knew one thing, that what unites us is that we as a race are being systematically exploited and enslaved because we're Black Africans, right? Somehow over the years, that mantra of what Pan Africanism was lost. Now it became once some people got empowered. I sent you a video, right? About I want you to play that on WhatsApp about this women speaking in front of the Gambian Parliament, and it sums up everything what I'm talking about. The Europeans post World War II, right? What you see in Africa is right are countries. The Gambia was created by the British, right? There's no logic really. The British surrounded by the Senegal, right? So therefore, all they did was, okay, we create a state. We got a checkpoint here, this, that, and the other thing, right? So they said to Africa, they gave a group of educated Africans, okay, you're going to manage this state we call the Gambia. And then we had this fake idea of independence. We let us have a flag, let us have all this stuff. But as we see now, and we're going to go into this tonight, right? As we talk about Liberia, modern Africa is falling apart. Why? Because we have two generations that basically that are still impoverished, still off the grid, still not inside the world of business. What makes it so dangerous now is you cannot keep Africans blind. They're looking around the world and seeing people prospering, and in their country, they're not doing anything. They're earning $1 a week and stuff like that. And they're saying, well, why are we basically still suffering after all this? Why? Because there was never any 100-year plan to liberate Africa out of poverty. There's never been. All the people that had that plans were systematically killed. You know, the Amilcar Cabrals, the Thomas Sankaras, okay, the Patrice Lumumbas, you know, the Samori Macau of Mozambique. All these great Pan-Africanist warriors were killed and systematically eliminated in Africa, right? And what you have right now left is people who want to cooperate with Europe and everything like that. Because Africans, this is a key I want to talk about. Africans lack the confidence and the self-accusation to believe that they could build something of their own without the Europeans' help. That's the problem. It's self-confidence. Why? Because the Europeans, many Africans think that the white man brought us civilization. The white man brought us white Jesus. He brought us Islam. He brought us all this stuff like this. He brought us the modern world. And they haven't figured out that the modern world does not belong to the white man, right? It belongs to whoever could harness it. So unlike Asia, where they'll take the things that the West have and utilize it for themselves, right? Black people, we take everything the white man, try to become the white man, right? Thinking that we're going to prosper. And it's been just the opposite. We take on the white man's religion, his culture, and all stuff like this, but we don't prosper. We don't have his technology. We don't have his infrastructure, but we have all his mindset. You see what I mean? And that's why Africa is so backwards compared to the rest of the world. The rest of the world kept their culture. Japan is the most indigenous culture in the world. And it's the most highly advanced culture in the world. You know, highly advanced culture that's completely Japanese. 99% of Japanese practice traditional Japanese religion. 99% of Japanese speak Japanese. They write Japanese, everything. They know the history, everything. They're completely Japanese, okay? It's not like in the Philippines where you got people who are bastardized by the Spanish and other places like this, you know, or in Vietnam or Malaysia where they're French influenced because they were conquered by France. Japan is the most Asian country in Asia, but it's the most advanced. What it shows you that you don't need to adopt a white man's culture, or you don't have to be black Englishmen or black Frenchmen or black Americans to be advanced. You just have to believe in yourself, right? Find commonality among yourself and build and take what you is necessary and get where what's not necessary. Okay. You want to play that video? So I want to build on that.
Yes, that video. All right, let me get this video up. All right.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I would first of all like to thank the committee clerks of this August House for the great work that they have done by spending the whole night in this August Assembly preparing a report for us. I thank you, clerks of the National Assembly. Honorable Speaker, I think looking at the Honorable Minister's statement and looking at the budget, I think that our government does not love this country. They do not have the feeling to nurture our children in this country. Honorable Speaker, $6 billion in salaries alone, not in administrative cost. Honorable Speaker, and we say we are a poor country. Honorable Speaker, the median age in this country is 19 years old. We should consider the life and the livelihood of our children. We should be investing in education. We should be investing in health rather than paying ourselves, feeding ourselves out of the poor people of this country. I will start with this August Assembly, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, to see the salary of the Honorable Speaker increased from 658 million to 658,000 to 1,560,000. I feel ashamed to call myself an honorable member, Honorable Speaker. I gave myself for service. I did not give myself for the poor people to feed me and my family, Honorable Speaker. When I saw this, I felt embarrassed. I did not want to come to this budget session because I said to myself, there is no need because we are just sharing the cake in our pockets, going home, feeding ourselves. Not only that, but to see the responsibility allowance, the residential allowance, the roving allowance, and all those for the representatives of the people. It is embarrassing for me to go back to my poor constituency and tell them that the meager resources of this country, I am paid that much at your expense. I took an oath, Honorable Speaker, to serve and to give back to my society, not to enrich myself. And even if I go to the Constitution, Honorable Speaker, it says that we shouldn't deliberately enrich ourselves. And increasing our salaries is deliberately.
I guess that must be it, brother.
Yeah, but you get the gist of what you're saying, and that could be played in almost any country in Africa except for Rwanda. You know, and the reason why they do this, why they're able to do this, because let's talk frank tonight. Let's just get it out, and I don't care if I offend people tonight. I'm gonna tell like it is. The black race was not ready for this republicanist form of government. We were not ready for it. The white man handed us these quasi pseudo republics, right? Knowing that we could not run these things. And so therefore they know that we're gonna basically mess it up. So this is what, like I said, like this happened in Chile, right? Forgot the president's name, right? He basically took the American property away from them, right? And then what happened was the Americans say, the world's watching this, right? The Russians watching this, right? This is the height of the Cold War. And so they brought this guy in, the president's, forgot the guy's name, Arez, whatever his name is. He's basically had a guy that was right-hand man called Pinochet, okay? And the United States government, right, backhandedly gave signals with Henry Kissinger, why this bastard's still alive, I don't know, to basically, okay, we'll back you if you get rid of this guy. So what happened was, this is what they did. They go and get the student. This president was trying to give the people the land and the resources that the U.S. corporations run. He nationalized them. So what he did was he went into the students and said, "Oh, this guy," and they caused the United States put sanctions on Chile, right? And so therefore, the United States got their propaganda machine in Chile and made it seem like the president was responsible for it. The Chile couldn't get loans from the World Bank, and people began hunger and everything. And so therefore, the people rose up against their own government, right? And then along comes this guy Pinochet. He takes power and everything. And the president of Chile committed suicide, and Pinochet has been ruling ever since. But this is what they do. This is what they do. When you have these republics that were created by, were propped up by U.S. corporations, and you have the United States in every, I'm going to link this back to Liberia. The same thing happened in Liberia. When you have the U.S. corporations, what they do is they have military attaches in the CIA, and they basically train rebel groups and everything. Al Qaeda was one of them. The Sandinistas, the Contras, all these people are always on standby, right? And also these so-called student union groups, right? To stand by, right? So if a government gets out of power, right, suddenly the U.S. media will put some, this person is the deliverer of this autocratic regime. They change your administration to a regime, right? And they'll say, hey, look, these people are not doing right by the Chilean people. And so it looks like the United States and the West has more concern about the country than the people that's running it. So they play this game, right? And they do this in Central America. They did it in Asia. They did it in the Arab world and whatnot. But unfortunately, Africa countries were least likely to resist this sort of stuff. So we have to talk about why these things happen. We basically, in the black world, right, got to start holding these governments in Africa accountable, right? If we start basically coming to Africa in large numbers, right, we cannot sit quiet. That's what people want us to do. They want us to sit quiet while we're watching corruption. We're watching obscene salaries and stuff. And they want us, you just be quiet. No, either we're black Africans or we're not. And so we're coming back with a different mindset. We want to support the governments, right? But we want to support the governments doing the right thing. And so therefore, if you see Colin talking like this, right, you know that where my heart and mind is. Okay? My heart and mind is on the truth. I don't want to see another generation of black people around the world suffering. Right now, after all these years, right? I thought that I told you this afternoon, right? I thought Nigeria back in 1990 was going to be this world power. We're going to see Nigerian shit, but it did not happen, and I'm very disappointed. There is almost no trade between the 200 million black people that live in the West and the continent of Africa. Everything that all the supply chain, everything that goes to and from the continent of Africa are not being controlled by us. So this is the stuff we as Pan Africans or call ourselves Pan Africans have to be talking about, using our platforms to be talking about. Nothing else actually matters. We have to build Africa, right? If we don't build Africa, right? If you heard what you said, the average age in Gambia is 19. And these people basically are robbing the Gambian youth of a future. And so, therefore, we have to basically say, if we're basically part of this Pan African world, we have to hold these people accountable by saying that we don't approve of what's going on. We can't be silent while all this going. Why? Because it's going to blow back in our face. Because if you start coming to the continent and you look like you're doing well, it's easy. Don't think this won't happen. The powers that be will use us as a scapegoat. They're trying to do that in Ghana now. They're saying, a lot of people saying the reason why prices are so high in Ghana is because of year return. They said, you heard that, Money. The year return, all the black people in America came here and their prices went up and everything. And so you may think it's funny, but it's not funny when the machetes come out, and all stuff like this. So we have to basically be on the thing. We have to be careful about people spreading false propaganda about us, about the diaspora and people coming home and stuff like that, our intentions. That's why I'm very, very careful when people start making remarks about Liberia, not knowing anything about the country. Okay?
You want to put it? Do you want to put the remarks up there? Do you want to put the information up there?
No, I don't want to put it. I don't want to. No. I've seen them before. Everybody's seen it. Everybody, all they do is copy and paste white supremacy talking points about Liberia. Don't even bother picking up a book. I can give you 20 books on Liberia to learn the real history. How Liberia was a place that was a cradle of Pan-Africanism. Liberia was a country, a metropolis of black men from all over Africa and the diaspora living in one country. There was never such a people called Americo-Liberians. They never existed. That's something the West created. Oh, Americo-Liberians. Forget the fact that the most prominent people in Liberia were the Massaquoi family, the Fambalas. They were Vai people. The Barclays. They were from the Caribbean. And stuff like that. So forget about all that. But you just want to be Americo-Liberians because you want to basically take shots at Black America and everything. So a little bit of intro to Liberia history. Also, I don't have my book on my novel on me. It's upstairs. I'm downstairs in my garage now. This is where I'll be broadcasting from now on. Because I'm more comfortable down here and everything like that. I just want to, and I can, if I could light up a cigar if I need to and whatnot, so I can sit back and relax, And so basically, my book, Journey to the Promised Land, has been greenlighted to be a motion picture. I knew this was going to happen when I wrote the book. Not bragging on myself or not, but I knew this story was very, very compelling. So I put my all into this novel, Journey to the Promised Land. Do you got a sticker of it, Bomani?
Yes, I can pull one up.
Yeah, Journey to the Promised Land, Journey to the Promised Land, Voyage of the Bark Azor. There's about the Liberia Exodus of 1878 from Charleston, South Carolina to Sierra Leone and Liberia. And it's about the first organized back to Africa mission by African Americans and African diasporas. The first organized by us. In other words, before that, it was white organizations like the American Colonization Society, Mississippi Colonization Society, also like that. But this was Black people deciding that after the fall, the end of Reconstruction, that it was time to go home. Not only that, these Black men were Civil War veterans and everything. They say it's time to go to Africa, end slavery, end the white man in Africa, and build Africa the way we built America. And so therefore, this was the dawning of modern Africa. It was the eve of the 20th century. And basically, the maiden voyage was just one voyage. The Azore voyage, right, is what led to the Garvey movement in the 20s. Okay? People don't realize that. Because the voyage was successful and Black America heard about that, right? And they began flooding to Charleston, South Carolina. I want to get on the ship. But it was sabotaged by white supremacists and everything who did not want to lose Black people leaving the deep South and everything like that to go to Africa. And they didn't want Black people going to the West. They had Black Klansmen and everything trying to stop Black people from going to Kansas and places like Nebraska and the West and everything. And they basically stopped Black people from building, voyaging outside. So in other words, the United States has always been a trap, for the Black race. And so when we talk about Liberia, we're talking about a country that was basically the land of the free. Liberia just means free. And the Constitution of Liberia basically is the only constitution in Africa that protects the indigenous people's right to land. Okay? The people who crafted the Liberian Constitution knew that if Europeans were able to come there and settle, they would take over the country. Liberia is the only country in Africa where the Constitution says that only Negroes or Black Africans can be citizens of the Republic. That's still to this day the only country. Some people call Liberia racist. The reason why Liberia doesn't get the support from the United States is because Liberia refuses to move that clause out of its constitution. And because of that, because Liberians always had this hope that large numbers of African Americans will come there and help build. And we're establishing pipelines between Black African American institutions over the last decade to Liberia. Morgan State, Morehouse, and Spelman, and Howard all have missions in Liberia with their colleges. Tennessee State University sent a whole bunch of a shipload of laptops to Liberia, the University of Liberia. So in other words, this connection between Black America and Liberia that's been strong for years, we're rebuilding these links. Large numbers of Liberians in America attend HBCUs. We have Liberians born in America, and they're just enthusiastic about. That's the advantage Liberians have over other Africans because they're so close to Black America. And so you got Liberians and Black Americans going to Liberia like we share a country, we share a history together. Even the tensions between the natives and the so-called Americans, that's gone now. As people are coming together and realizing that we have this beautiful Black country that we share history with, a beautiful history, and we're going to build this country together. That's why this tour in March of 2024 is going to be so important, because this is reconnecting. And also, I believe that Liberia will be the place where we can launch into the rest of Africa. Because I told people from all over Africa, I said, look, Zambians, all these people want connection with Black America. I said, well, make that connection not directly to the United States, make it to Liberia. So we can meet halfway. If Black people in America build institutions in Liberia, and you got other people from Africa coming to Liberia, we have a place on the continent that we can do business, cultural exchange, investments, and all kinds of stuff in one country. That would boom the Liberian economy. Okay, that would basically, if you have people coming in by the plane loads from different parts of the world to meet with people from the diaspora and everything in one place, Liberia could be that place. They say, well, why Liberia, Carla? Why Liberia? Why are you so pro Liberia? Well, other countries in Africa are former colonies. They got other obligations to their colonial orbit. They're still, let's be honest with ourselves, right? Let's just break this down. Ghana loves the UK. Nigeria loves the UK. That's who they are. That's who they are connected with. We can't do nothing about that. The good thing about Liberia and Angola hates Portugal. They went to war against Portugal. Same thing with Mozambique. They hate Portugal. They hate the Portuguese. Guinea-Bissau, right? But when you talk about these Anglophone countries and these Francophone countries, the France are the masters. You can't, wherever Pan-African you talk about in these countries, can't conflict with who they think. Like Sierra Leone, that's the British. That's the British territory. Ghana, that's the British. The Ivory Coast, that's the French. You know, you look at any country in Africa. You know, it's what it is. Tanzania is a good country because it was part of Germany at one time, and I don't know who colonized it after that, but Germany used to have Tanzania, but
It was the British
Tanzania,
after that. It was the British
what?
after that.
The
It was
British.
the British after that. You know, remember after World War
Yeah,
One,
World War One. Yeah,
all of Germany former colonies was
right. Yeah, okay,
changed
yeah,
over to mainly the French or the British.
right. And the thing is, though, they never had a bond with the British, right? In Tanzania, so you might have a chance in Tanzania. But do you understand something about Tanzania? They're also part of the Swahili Arab world, Muslim world. So that's a conflict right there. But you have a better chance in Tanzania than you would in Kenya or what other country is by the British. You know the Namibia or South Africa and all these other countries. Botswana is a pretty much independent country. You know that you could do something in Botswana and South Africa maybe. But but a lot of these countries, basically smaller countries, they basically their lifeblood is the British, the EU, and France, and all these other countries. The President of Ghana is trying to build ties with France. He was never colonized by France, so why does he want ties with France? He's trying to
Exactly.
get closer to Spain. I don't get it.
And that's why we say family focus on Liberia. There's a beautiful connection between Liberia and America.
Black
We can make
America, Liberian Black
a whole lot
America.
of things work. Serious business family. So
That's it.
that's why we're taking that journey so we can get more people exposed to Liberia more than just an historical place, but a place of modern day repatriation.
Yeah,
And that's why we got Kala book up here. I'm saying Kala, your book is live and
Journey
direct
to the
right
Promised Land on Amazon. Get it on Amazon. Pretty soon, man. Me and Kofi is working on putting it on audiobooks. And audiobooks. We're trying to make it an audiobook because Negroes don't like to read. So we're trying to get it on audiobooks. I said he convinced me to make it on audiobooks. But this book has been picked up, right? I didn't even submit it for a movie. I was supposed to. I said one day I'm gonna go and pitch it to a movie. But anyways, BDMN picked it up and said, man, and my book was submitted in a group of like 20 different novels, and mine was chosen as something that could be made into a major film. And we got people that's they called me and said, look, man, your book was chosen to be in a movie. And I said, wow, 8 years and whatnot. And I was like, man, I didn't even get a chance to submit it. And they picked it up. So I was like, wow. I'm like, but I knew when I wrote the book and published it that one day this was going to be made into a movie. I knew it because this story's never been told before. As far as like the thing, I mean, some things are going to be changed or whatever like that when we do the script and the screenplay and stuff like that, but it's it's gonna be really, really the story of Liberia has never been told in film. Well, there's a movie called Providence, right? Our sisters Kutla, she made that movie Providence with Vivica Fox. Your girl in Atlanta, sister Kula, the one that I introduced you to. They have a book. They have a movie out called Providence. I haven't seen it yet, but I don't know if it's been released, whatever like that. I don't know who was released, but they filmed it. But for the most part, this is going to be the first major film made about Liberia, and so therefore it takes you back to 1878, after the Hayes-Tillman Compromise, which ended Reconstruction. After Reconstruction, people don't really understand its history. After Reconstruction ended, Black people had given up on America altogether. We said we had enough. It's time for us to go home. It's time for us to build Liberia. It's time to build Africa. Liberia was just a start, but they want to build other territories in the Congo. They want to drive King Leopold and all these other people out of the Congo. They want to build in South Africa. So in other words, basically, when people say, "Oh, you're colonizing," yeah, it's Black people, Black African people taking back what was there. They're returning to Africa. I don't know what you call it, settlement, whatever like that. Oh, you colonize. So what? How you colonize? It's like you go into your house, right? You're going on vacation. You go for 2 years, you go back to your house. Oh man, you're squatting in that house. No, it's my house to begin with. So how can I be squatting in a house that I freaking it's mine? That's what we're saying about these people trying to level. Oh, you're colonizing. No, We're basically black people. Anybody who says that is not a real Pan-Africanist. You ain't a real Africanist. That means you don't realize that the whole idea of Pan-African is based on race. I can't discriminate against no other black man. If a black man anywhere in the world, a real black man anywhere in the world wants to be part of the BAIO, you're welcome. You know, I don't believe in the ADOS, FBA, and all this kind of nonsense. If you're black and you're a part of the black African world, you are part of me. You know, that's what I believe in. I don't believe in these fake ass boundaries created by the Europeans, these fake countries they created. I believe in the idea of an Afghanistan, the idea of a black African state, you know, where people of black African heritage can live and build and everything. We need that education that unifies us. You know, other races of people around the world, their own code. You know, you go to the UK, you go to any place, you have Scots, Irish, Danes, everybody else. You know, I was once a Danish years ago, but I think I'm white. You know, they're like, I think I'm white. You know, I was a Slavic person, but I think I'm a white Polish. You know, like look what happened in Ukraine, right? When Ukraine, they took all those white people in Ukraine and brought them to the UK, Poland, gave them sanctuary. What did they do with the black people in Ukraine? They left them there. You can't come. Why? Because they recognize this thing of race is real. We're the only race of people that we have so much disdain for our own race that we make up an excuse for how we can discriminate against other people. Look what's going on in South Africa. A couple of Indian guys killed 2 black men, right? Set off riots, right? Indians outnumber Africans outnumber like 1,000, 1,000,000 to 1, but yet they're too scared to fight. The Indians dominate and kicking the black man's ass in Zululand, KwaZulu Natal. How the hell's that happen? But yet all the time the Africans and Zulus are always killing other Africans. And they make another movie about Shaka Zulu. It's like, yeah, somebody say, yeah, man, all they know how Zulus know how to do is kill other black people. Can't kill the white man. Can't kill the Indians. Can't kill the Chinese. You got the Chinese over there. I've seen this one video where this a police officer in Uganda, right? This little ass Chinese was illegally mining, and they basically said, sir, you're under arrest. And Chinese told me, I'm not going no place. Little tiny Chinese, man, you know, didn't know no kung fu, no nothing. Little Chinese man was whooping up inside the African's head, knocking him upside the head. And he was a police. And then we gonna arrest him. The other African tackled the police. Oh, don't hurt the Chinese. The Chinese just sitting there swinging punches, knocking them all upside their head and whatnot, you know? And the Africans are too weak to arrest somebody in their own country when you have the authority. But let that be another African who goes to Uganda and do something illegal. See what happens to him. See, that's the mentality which we're going to change. That mentality where we got to freaking hunt and kill each other. And while the white man and the Chinese man and everybody else are just sitting back laughing at us, you know. I don't like being laughed at, you know. And so the bottom line is this: the Pan-African movement led by College Genesis, we don't run and we don't cower to no one. The bottom line, we believe in black African people first, black people first, and everybody else second. I'm sorry. That's the way it is. In our race, we give our people a second chance. We give them a benefit of the doubt. You know, I know that basically everybody's capable of good and evil. Good is rewarded, evil's punished. But we never take the stand that black people are so irredeemable that we can't forgive and make a way for our people. In America, we had townships after townships. And what gets me is all this stuff is coming to light because of TikTok and everything. Towns that were burned down. We while the rest of the world was celebrating the beginning of the 20th century in 1900, right? You know what we were celebrating? We were witnessing lynchings. The white people had 3 wars in America. Listen to this carefully. One, they had the war with the Native 4. One where they had the war with the Native American, all right, and that war. Then they had a war with the British for their independence. Then they had a war between themselves in the States. And the last war they waged was against the black people, the ex-slaves inside of America. That is the truth. What I see when I look at history, right? This wasn't just some lynchings. Like Malcolm X always said that. This was a full-scale, coordinated war, propaganda against the black race in America, right? To burn their cities, terrorize them, give them no justice. That's why they made the movie Birth of a Nation, where they made the Klan out to be heroes. After the Wilmington massacre, right? They massacred the town of Wilmington. White men came from all over the South to burn down this black town and overthrow the legitimate government there, right? Because they did nothing but prosper. You can't have a black area that's prospering without white people taking it. So they waged a race war against us, starting in the beginning of the late 19th century, the early 20th century, that lasted up into the 1960s. We were under attack in a race war. This was war. This wasn't just some civil rights and something like that. This was a freaking full-scale war by any imagination. It just wasn't declared, and the people didn't necessarily have uniforms on. So they waged a war against our black nation in America. That's the truth. So before we start attacking black people for what they don't have and everything, I want to hear about the friggin' white man who waged a race war against us and never paid the price for it. That's what I want to talk about. So right now, the way I see it, there's nothing left to talk about. I don't want to talk about reparations. I want to talk about voting. I don't want to talk about anything other than nation building. And we say, well, white people have nothing to do with this. That's why we're making strategic things to reach out and fortify our relationship with countries that we historically have. Ghana, Liberia, Sierra Leone, and these other countries, everything that's friendly to us and everything. Angola, South Africa, everything. We're going to start building these relationships with these countries, right? Because soon we're going to be basically building these communities, these Africans that we talk about and everything, to give our people another option. What we're basically saying, like I said in my book and everything, America is a false, it's a lie. You cannot oppress a man and reject a man for his race and call yourself exceptional. Call yourself the land of the free. By us basically capitulating to America, right? What we're saying is, yes, what you did was all right. Yes, enslaving us was all right. You're making a mockery of our ancestors. You're making a mockery of the blood of our ancestors spilt and everything. And so therefore, this is why the Pan-African movement has to go. Because we're vindicating our ancestors. We're saying black blood, African blood is not cheap. And so therefore, we don't have the guns, the weapons to fight the white man and everything. But one thing he'll never have is our soul. He'll never have that. He'll never have our spirit, our soul. That's what he wants so bad. He wants us up there, your freaking Herschel Walker types and everything, your freaking Shaquille O'Neals, your Charles Barkleys and all these other buffoons up there and everything. They want you up there acting like that. That's not a real, they don't want to know the real black men. We did what we had to do. Our ancestors, our fathers, grandfathers, everything like that, they went and worked in the worst factories. They did what they had to do to survive. They understood that. They couldn't build us a nation back in the days. But one thing they did do was go in our communities, right? And became good fathers to us. They put presents under the Christmas tree, show us how to ride a bike, show us how to show a football, and been examples to us. No, they couldn't give us all the things that all these other races of people had. These other people had a leg up. We have a race of people, black men that were torn down to his very last shred. So it's up to me and people like me to vindicate my fathers, my grandfathers, and all the black men that came before me. I know that's looking down on heaven right now and saying there's a man, called Genesis, is on this earth that's going to vindicate us. I understood they did what they had to do. The white man destroyed Marcus Garvey, destroyed Malcolm X, destroyed all our leaders, Patrice Maurice Bishop. All our friggin' great revolutionary leaders were destroyed by this man. The white man put drugs in our community, monetized and platform gangster rap, got rid of all the good conscious rap off the radio stations, all the 5% nature stuff like that, all the stuff that young black men, I was a young black man, I was a 5%er. Why? Because it gave me an identity. 5% say, "What's up, God?" I felt good. You look at your sister like, "Hey, look at my wisdom." Show you how to love your sister, love the black woman. That's not bad. And then they put that into rap lyrics. That's all we wanted. We don't care about your Bentleys, your Bugattis, your Lear jets and all stuff like this. All we wanted to do was be left alone. We go out there, work, hey, maybe get an education. Brother hear about, yeah, man, brother got a raise at a job, man. We're cheering each other. We weren't tearing each other down before. Oh, him and such, man, they're about to get married. Oh, man, I'm going to be there. Good. Like this. That's the type of community I knew. And that's the type of community I want back. Where we love each other. We pray for each other. We honor each other. But when you have another race of people that controls what goes into your head, you call your sisters bees and hoes and thoughts and all this kind of stuff like this. And all the world celebrates your death and your destruction. Everybody's having a good laugh at your expense. I'm determined that stupid Sambo, that stupid jigaboo culture is not going to end up in the Pan-African world. I want no part of it. I search all around, right? And I meet clowns, charlatans. I meet people who are big talkers. But one thing I want is, can I meet an honorable man? Can't have that. A man of honor? Where are our men of honor? Where are men that stand for stuff? That stand righteous? This movement right here is going to require the best in us. The best of who we are. And why do I say that, right? Before you can do that, you got to believe that you are the best. You got to believe in your people. I know the story of the African American. I study my people. I know that we are good people. We did tremendous things. We gave so much to the world. We are not what the world is telling us we are right now. And we not only that we contribute to the world, we contribute to America, now's our time to give back to our mother continent. It's time to return home. It's time to give Africa our best minds. It's time to give Africa our investments. It's time to give Africa our respect. Now, I just said that some people Africans have other motives and everything like that. I get that. So we got to start with the places in Africa that understand who we are. And that's why I'm so passionate about Liberia. When I went there last year, all people kept saying is, where are you guys? They said, man, you guys belong here. This is your country. I was shocked. I've never heard anybody tell me that I had a country in my whole entire life. I never heard that in America, that this is my country. The Liberians, like, man, from all different backgrounds, Colin, man, when are you coming back? This is your country. This is your land, We need you. We need leaders like you. We need role models like you. That's what they always tell me. You're a role model. We need strong black men like you. And when I was there, I was talking to the young brothers, man. Don't lose despair. You know, better days. I wish I could tell them to speak with, but we have people that's in power, you know, by a corrupt system that that elects people that don't have the best interest in the hearts of the people, and they don't have the love that I have. I'm not the political savvy. I can't get elected to office, right? So I do what I could do. They're like, when are you guys coming back? When are you guys going? We need role models. We need people like you. There's a lot of black people in America who can contribute to the continent of Africa. And this is helping Africa. We're helping ourselves. We're saying we have something other than what we see in America. Because we see in America, even the best black communities are going down. America is not going to let us have this culture. This is what I'm saying. This Chinese guy put out a video talking about Black America's income spending power is $1.8 trillion. Why isn't that it? Why don't we have black people putting their money in black banks? Now, Kanye has an audience right now, right? He could basically lead that. Black people, let's start putting our money in black banks, you know? Let's start using black. He's not doing that. I don't know what Kanye's thinking. So since Kanye's not doing that, I can't talk about Kanye. He's basically, I'm saying to myself, why aren't black people organizing, pulling their resources and stuff together? How can you organize when what you see in front of you is always negative? All you see is black men fighting other black men. All you see is black men hating other black men. All you see is black men threatening other black men. This toxic culture. All you see is the worst of our women on the music videos. And so it begins as self-hate. Well, then black people ain't shit. That's why we can't come together. But if we were seeing positive images of ourselves, right? We love ourselves. Okay, let's build this black bank. Let's build these institutions and everything. Let's come together. But when you see every day, this rapper got killed, this person got murdered, this person's doing this and everything like that, it makes people, it's frightening. And this is done deliberately. This is not happening by accident. This is done deliberately. All the stuff they put out here, all the negativity you see about ourselves that make us hate ourselves and everything every day is done deliberately, because that's how they deal with black people. They basically are still waging war against us. Now the war is psychological. They put self-doubt in your head, self-hate in your head, division. Oh, the passport bros are going overseas. Black women complain about this. All the relationship. You look at this. The only group of people where all this chaos is going on is Black America. Why? You don't see. They have gender discussions. I look at dating in Kenya, dating in other countries and everything. It's not to the level Black America is at, where you have women like, tell me the African version of Cynthia G would say all black males should be aborted and killed. And she's given a platform. The toxic relationship with black males, this is all done deliberately, because we are being waged, a war is being waged against us by the hidden hand of mass destruction. So those of us basically in the Pan-Africa, we got to be the example. We have to be the moral authority. Let's stop this beefing with each other. If we have issues with each other, let's sit back and talk among ourselves. There's nothing any black man does, right? So actually, if he kills somebody, whatever like that, that can't be talked, that can't be resolved with a simple conversation. And that's the truth. So, Bomani, you there?
Yes, brother. Yes, brother. Yes, brother.
You like that monologue?
Absolutely, brother. Full detail.
Journey to the Promised Land. You know, you will love this book. Get it on Amazon and everything like that. It's, like I said, escape to 19th century America and 19th century Liberia and everything. And the book ends in 100 years later in 1978. The last chapter is called the Children of God. Why did I call what do you mean by children of God? The children of God means the African American, African slave descendant who were born in Africa. Okay, they survived the Ma'afa, the slave trade. They went through trials and tribulations in America, and their ancestors returned to Africa, and they were born back on African soil. I call them the children of God. Okay, and so therefore that the book, the novel, basically explains a thing. And there was a lot of people in the book who likened the 40 days and 40 nights on a voyage to the Hebrews, and the Bible, the biblical, And in fact, when they left, they read Deuteronomy chapter 11, which said that if you obey the Lord's commandments, God will bless you with a land of your own. And that was the genesis of Liberia, Deuteronomy chapter 11. If you obey the Lord's commandments, work hard, Yeah, I mean, public. I could, but it would have to be, it'd be a lot because, be honest with you, man, African politics is toxic, man. I would have to get down in the dirty and everything. If we had this culture, if we built the African, wherever, like this territories and everything, I could probably be an administrator or governor or something like that. Yeah. But African politics right now, Africans need their own leaders that know their issues and their stuff and everything. And unfortunately, if you look at that video clip that we played, um, it reminds me back to Amara. Remember Amara when he was on here? He said that, oh, Africans don't need much or whatever like that. That's the way they think. He said they don't need much. You don't know the African. They don't need much. You think we need all this. So you telling me the African does not want running water? He doesn't want infrastructure. They want to keep walking 10 miles down the road for water to bathe with. They don't want simple things that everybody else around the world has mastered. They don't want the basics of human life. They're not entitled to the basics. No one's asking for $1 million a piece, but can you give them the basics? A basic healthcare plan, a basic education, basic nutrition, basic stuff. You'd be surprised if you give people the basics, how a society, right? Asians figured that out. If you give everybody, when Asians start building these high-rise apartments and everything, and they brought everybody into the first world. You had a high-rise, you had electricity, you have a television, you have all the stuff like this. You basically can go to the next level. But when you have a whole continent where the majority of people don't even have the basics, basic transportation, basic public safety, basic civics, you give somebody the basics and everything. If people are determined not to give the people the basics, man, and that's just sad what that situation is. Now, I don't know the Gambian budget, right? But I do know that the way she was saying, those salaries, they're going to give yourself a salary increase, but you don't have no money for the people. It's just sad. And the people in Africa, right, they don't want to go to war. They're tired of war. And African leaders, they always hover that thing where we got power. You don't. We got the guns. You don't. And so what has happened like this? Let's look at what's going on in the Congo. Now, the Congo has a whole portion of the Congo that's controlled by the rebels, right? CDC, where rebels, right? And now 7 nations have sent troops in there to quell the rebellion. But ask yourself this question, right? Was the government of the Congo doing the thing for the people that before this happened? We black people always wait till after the fact, and we say, "Oh, the rebels." Rebels don't wake up one day and say, "I'm a rebel." There's a reason why there's rebels in the Congo tearing shit up, because years of neglect. And anybody with an education understands that. That's throughout history. If you let people feel like they have nothing to lose, that's the way they're going to behave. And so you have a rebel movement in the Congo who's threatening to engulf the whole Great Lakes region. And so therefore, what happened? Well, the people don't have the basics. They don't have basic security. There's no rule of law. People get kidnapped, people get killed, women get raped, and there's no justice. And so when that happens and everything, what does a young guy to do? He sees a rebel group and they say, we'll feed you, we'll put a gun in your hand, and we'll give you something. What do you think is going to happen? It's the same thing in the city, in many inner cities, and in Colombia and everything. When you have poverty and you have no opportunity, the gangs and the cartels look like a way out. But we're so busy taking these trips to Europe. Every time I see an African president going to Europe all they do is go to Europe for a free meal, the free banquets and stuff like that. That's all they do. Free food, I remember there's a story that Samuel Doe, former thug president of Liberia, right? That they was gonna eat, right? And he's a president, right? And then also they said, okay, we're gonna eat in a little while. And there was a chicken on the table in the banquet, right? And he took the chicken and put it in his pocket. The president of a country put the chicken in his pocket. Bomani, show your face laughing, man. Come on, Bomani. I'm trying to sit in the background. Come on, Bomani, show your face. He's laughing. Bomani's cracking up, man. Don't put this all on me. He's cracking up. Bomani's cracking up, man. Look at him. Don't let him put that all on me, man. He took a piece of chicken and put it in his pocket, man. He knows his body is be hungry. So bottom line is Europeans, it's the Feed Africa President program, right? They invite all these African leaders to Europe, like the Queen of England, right? But they did that on a budget. They put all these African leaders in a coach bus, right? It's time. I love my African leaders, man, but I got to clown on them a little bit, They going on to see the Queen. Oh, one guy crying, the Queen of England. She got all your gold sitting in a vault, and you crying over her ass, her cracker ass. What the hell's going on? But like I said, man, I love the fact that Liberia has never raised the Union Jack on this soil. It's the only free soil country in Africa, right? That's the place we're going to build this Pan-African move. No other country is going to be able to do what we're going to do. We're going to turn these Liberians, these young Liberians, into Pan-African warriors. We're going to create a whole nation of Pan-African warriors. That's what's going to happen, And that's what's happening right now, My Liberians on the ground, they're like, Kala, we're just waiting for the word, bro. We're just waiting for the word. And so therefore, we need a country of Pan-African warriors, Black warriors who see the world in terms of being Black Africans and everything like that. If you're not Black, hey, we don't know what you're doing. If you don't want to be Black, you want to be Hispanic, or you want to be whatever the hell you want to be Hebrew, whatever like that, go the hell away. This movement for people who are Black Africans, whether you're African American, you're Jamaican, I'm African American, my brother, Bomani, Jamaican, but we're both Black African power. Am I telling the truth, Bomani? Bomani, you there?
You say you want me to tell them the truth about what?
Well, I'm African American, you're Jamaican, but we're about Black African power. Is that correct?
Absolutely, fam. Pan-Africanism towards nationhood.
Right,
building that global Black business pipeline.
All this nonsense about
real with your family.
All this nonsense about where you come from, Caribbean, whatnot. You're Black. You believe in Black African power. You join us. That's what it's all about when it comes down to it. I'm sick of everybody fighting over crumbs and whatnot. You're gonna get a crumb more than somebody else and whatnot. The bottom line is this: it's all about being Black, all about Black African power. Like I said, this Liberia trip is going to show that. And also, I'm going to talk about Senegal, right? Senegal in Liberia is where the OAU was formed, right? Now, let me give you back. This guy named, I think his name was Stewart, right? He was a Gambia. He ran for Liberian office, right? He was an African American, but he moved to Liberia and became a senator or something like that in Liberia. And from what I'm hearing, that George Weah, president, one of the senator of this guy works with George Weah right now. He's a Pan-Africanist. I think you know him, Monty. I forgot his name, but I think you know him. Anyway,
Yeah.
he was in Ghana at one time, but he's in Liberia now. But anyway, this guy's story back in the days, right? He said, "Look, man, what if the idea of Garveyism was in Liberia? Just like anything else, you start like the BAO. People had an idea, the Black Africans, okay, yeah. Then it takes off. But he was just basically saying, something. What if all these new republics and everything? What if we work together and form one thing called the Organization of African Unity?" Everybody's, I don't know. That's something we talk about in the West. Africans are tribal and everything. But guess what? Coming down from the mountains of Nimba, from Guinea, was Kwame Nkrumah and Sekou Touré. They met President Tubman, right? And these three great black men, man, I'm gonna tell you stories. Children, sit around the fireplace. Let me tell you a story about our ancestors and how it happened, right? These three great black men met each other, right? With this idea of unifying the continent, right? And they wept and they cried. And Tubman, the senator of African American slaves, right? Kwame Nkrumah, senator of Ghanaian royalty. Sekou Touré, senator of the Touré clan of the Mali and the Songhai Empire, right? These great men got together and said, "Look, man, we're black people. We're one people. Let's unify the continent based on race." Now, why was Senegal was so important? Senegal is where I say the African started. The idea that black people were going to make a stand. The Liberians, the Mono, the Gio people, and other people made a stand against the French, right? And as Samori Touré was losing against the French, right? Some of his men went over to the Liberia side of the border, right? And they made that stand and said, "Look," they raised the Liberian flag and said, "We're gonna uproot the parliament." Had it not been for that, the France would have rolled all the way to the coast of Monrovia and took over Liberia. But these great African warriors stood by us, in our time of need. Same thing that happened in Lofa. And so Senegal was the place where Senegal was a place where a black man, with a native black man from Africa, made his choice, right? And the people who sided with the French side, right? They ruled the day. They're like, "Man, we made a big mistake. It was too late." The Berlin Conference happened and whatnot, and they found that their land was now owned by the French. And the people who sided with the Liberian side were free. They didn't know. Same thing happened in Sierra Leone. People were like, "What the fuck?" No, the British own your land. This is Liberia, free soil. "No, we want to be part of Liberia." It's too late now. Liberia offered all this territory. Liberia used to be twice the size of it is now. Liberia used to be twice the size of it is now. All that land in Sierra Leone, going up past the Guinea Highlands and everything, Ivory Coast, that was all Liberia. But the French took it. And the Africans on that side who sided with the French, the reason why Liberia lost its territory. But then they said, "Wait a minute here. Something's not right here." That's because of the contact where a lot of them had with the Liberians on the coast. They're like, "These people aren't so bad. They're all people. They're black." And so there was a split. And that's what saved Liberia. So we talking about the history of this great republic, this great country. This country our ancestors built. I know it's hard for black people to claim anything, right? I don't know. I know a lot of you Negroes are shaking in your boots right now. "Oh, I got a country. I got responsibility. Ooh, I don't know. I just don't know." Man the fuck up. Yeah, our ancestors died to make sure this republic stood. So it's our responsibility to pick up the mantle and run with this. That's our duty. That's what we were born for. That's what I was put on this earth for. I was put on this earth for this. So we have to basically make a stand. And those countries basically that honor us and respect us and everything, that want to welcome us and everything, that's what we're doing. That's what the Pan-African spirit's all about. Black unity. Anybody else is not black and everything, you don't matter. We love the human race, but we have been given to the human race for 500 years. It's time for us to work, the black people, to start building and worrying about ourselves. I said an hour ago how there's no trade between the thing. Everywhere, the black mind in America is the most advanced people in the world. Tell me why the black mind in America is beholden to two corrupt, racist political parties, the Democrats and Republicans. What the hell are we doing here? We got all this tremendous mind power and everything, and all we can think of is getting on freaking ESPN and getting on the Super Bowl and sitting there talking about some fucking idiot running up down the field with a friggin' leather, what's a pigskin, what's a football made out, whatever, running out with some air in it. That's all we are? Or some rapper? What do we say to the world? What we have, our past generation, don't ever put your mouth against our ancestors. Our ancestors, while we were oppressed, gave us tens of thousands of inventions. They gave us so much. And what does this generation do? Give us? Nothing. So don't ever put your mouth against what our ancestors didn't do for us. All we care about is sports and acting a fool and all this kind of nonsense and everything. We're not building anything. Or we're not serious about building anything. This Pan-African movement is the most serious thing we could do. And we need serious people. Because the future of our race is at stake. There's nothing else. You gonna tell me anything else? There's nothing else. The future of the black race is on the line. And we can't build industries, and we can't build a modern agriculture system. We can't build energy. We can't build all these things for our people and everything to give our people quality of life. We will die. And I'm not going to sit back and be like, okay, everything right now is in the negative. You know, we have to turn this around. It turned around by the mindset changing. The mind, you change the mind, you change the man. So that's what I would say about that little rant. Got my boy Sam Cooper listening. Yeah, my boy Sam.
There you go, Kala. Got a special one live and direct for you. Baruti Katembo.
Oh, yeah. He's like, why don't this brother ever call in, man? I mean, I don't get it, man. You know. Okay, can you explain the difference in roles of Liberia and Angola in Pan-African Africa movement to the realm of empowerment? One is Angola is where most of us came from originally, right? We could thank God for the Portuguese, right? Well, let's give the Portuguese a round of applause for Manu. Let's give them a round of applause. Why? Because the Portuguese held that territory, right? And they were the most backward country in Europe, and they lost it. You know, so we could think it. Had the British had Angola, we'd be fucked right now. Just be honest.
Yo, that's so crazy.
Imagine the French would have had Angola, we would really be fucked. You know, but because the Portuguese were so small and so weak, right? We could just walk into Angola with our shoes. We go. Yeah, but we go walk in the network. We can walk in with our shoes. Liberia, we have a history with Liberia. All we need to do is really just reconnect and understand that Liberia was a Pan-African history. It was no American Liberians oppressing it. That's a lie.
Get them.
Europeans create these things because they only want to see division. You know, they create lies about places, right? Because Europeans wanted Liberia so bad. You know, Liberia trained all the Pan African revolution you see in Africa. They all went to Liberia. Nelson Mandela was there. Okay, Kwame Nkrumah was there. Patrice Lumumba. Okay, Samora Machel. All those people came to Liberia and said, "Wow, this is a black republic. We can run a country ourselves and everything." They didn't have the confidence, but they saw Liberia. That's like the only free country, black country in Africa, and everything. And all of a sudden, here's another thing. Most of the Liberian white people came in and drew the leaders of Liberia, right? And they lightened their skin and made them look white. My sister Kafambula said, no, this is the actual picture of Daniel Warner, a dark-skinned black man, right? They whitened, they made them look Caucasian and everything, and they showed Africa, oh, Liberians are all mixed race or white, whatever like that. Try to distance themselves from, divorce Liberia from Africa. So now the truth is coming out. Liberia was a black African republic. It was a black power republic. That's the truth. There was no people called American Liberians. People were mixing and marrying from day one. So therefore, instead of us walking away from Liberia, when people start embracing that, like, wow, this is a black country. When you go there, you'll be like, yeah, this is a black country. Wow, this is black power. And then you see that, man, this is a place where we can build a base of operations. You know, because let's be honest with you, countries in other countries in Africa, other things, you know. It can't happen in Nigeria. You know, they got 200 million people they got to feed, you know, and they got all kinds of stuff going on. But Liberia could be the diaspora, those African Americans, Barbados, Jamaicans, Trinidadians, and people from North America, Canada. That could be our sanctuary in engaging Africa. All we need is that one country. And then we could branch off to Angola, the Congo, everything. So in other words, basically we're phasing America out. You know, in other words, we can't just completely divorce from America, but Liberia is going to be the place where our Pan-African business is going to happen. We tried to make America that, and it didn't work. That's why I said I don't even bother in America. You know, if we have a place where we can openly, freely do our stuff, Liberia is going to be that place. Not saying like it because I know there's going to be spies and shit like that in Liberia. I know that. You know, I know there's race traders over there. I know they got the CIA and well, but I'm not worried about them. I could deal with them over there. But that's what we're talking about. Learning the real history of Liberia, what Liberia's purpose was when it was founded, what Liberia meant to Africa, what it meant to black people. And once we rediscover like the history of Liberia, right now, it's going to elevate Liberia on a thing, on a scale that we've never seen before. So that's what we're talking about tonight. And that's why that trip to Liberia in 2024 is going to be so important. You know, that's why it's so important.
Family, that's
To
information.
understand Pan-Africanism, you know, we have to start with Liberia. You know, the OAU didn't start, and that's why Liberia has been erased from history. You don't know about the OAU conference of 1979 in Monrovia, like the most spectacular thing. I only wish I could be there. You know, I wish I could just go blink and be like that. They said, man, the Idi Amin was there. They said all these people were there. They had signed a Mono River Union, the Lagos Plan of Action, all this stuff like that, the Lancaster Agreement in Southern Africa, and all this stuff, right, was happening while the U.S. was instigating a rice riot and everything, sabotaging. And a year later, President Tolbert was assassinated, and everything collapsed. The African Development Bank was supposed to be in Monrovia, but it had to go to Abidjan, Ivory Coast. The Pan-African peacekeeping building that's still there. It's going to be a place where all African countries will contribute troops and logistics to do peacekeeping over the continent. You know, all this stuff. Liberia was going to be was said to be, because it was the most stable country in Africa, right? It was said to be the thing. President Carter, when he came to Liberia in 1978, right? He stayed in Liberia for 3 hours, but he went to Nigeria for 3 days, right? And Nigerians he tried to say, well, what's going on with the oil, with the oil crisis? He said, you got to talk to Liberia. Liberia is our leader. And Carter was like, what do you mean Liberia? That's whatever. the U.S. have always been like this. Liberia, the true Whig Party of Liberia, was probably the most powerful political party ever existed. Everything that was brokered in Africa happened in Liberia, but that was erased from history. The brokering of Namibia to become to get away from Southwest Africa, Liberia. The Lancaster Agreement, right? That basically was going to the willing buyer, willing seller. The British were going to compensate the white farmers and give land back to Zimbabwe. That was brokered by Tolbert in Liberia. Okay, most of the stuff on the African continent, the Angola War, right? The Liberia was basically negotiated. So Liberia basically was the grandfather country of the continent. You know, it played a heavy role in post-independence Africa. And so therefore, in this idea of Pan-African unity, or what they call Negro unity. And so everybody basically gave respect and honor to Liberia. And I think all African countries, the ones that got money now and everything, it's your obligation to, and I told my Angolan brothers, you know, it's your obligation to help Liberia. They said, Carl, we understand. We understand. You know, you have to help Liberia. Everybody owes this country. So all these countries, man, I'm going to say, look, you know, you have to help Liberia develop. You know, Liberia didn't have a former colonial master and everything like that, you know? You know what I'm saying? So bottom line is this. All these countries in Africa, they owe a debt to Liberia. And Liberia has to basically call in its markers. Yeah, we helped you. But the problem is you got a lot of indigenous Liberians want to distance themselves. They bought the white man's propaganda. And they don't know how to cash in their coins. Yo, our country, Bill, now they're starting to learn how to do it. Look, man, we were here in the first place. So they're starting to embrace the ancestors that came from America. They're like, well, yeah, we came from America. We had the first republic. We did all this stuff like this. That's good. Let's stop this divide about who came from America, who's indigenous and everything. You're Africans, you're Liberians now. Now we have a republic, you know, that black people in America are part of, if they want to, and you got Liberians. Let's work together to make sure this country works. You know, we have tremendous resources in Black America. I'm sick and tired of Black America walking around, we need reparations. Reparate yourself, nigga. Excuse my language, yo. Reparate yourself. You know, we got tremendous opportunity. We have institutions. I know here in Virginia, man, we sit on the seats of power everywhere. We have to use these institutions to form sister city projects. And that's what we're going to do. You know, we're going to make this so that nobody's left behind. Those kids in Liberia right here, if we have money, you know, get that person off here that ate all shit, you know. So the money, the education, all the stuff like that, we have an abundance in America. We're gonna partner. Like we were doing that before the Ebola thing broke out. You know, I was very proud of what was going on between Black institutions in America. And I was disappointed in Sirleaf, the former president, because she went to Texas Southern, right? And you had the Liberian, the president there was there saying, yeah, we're gonna, because Black people are looking for a country like Liberia. She was sort of like, whatever. She was more interested in meeting with Barack Obama. And these people sung the Liberian national anthem and everything. They were completely unmoved. So basically, Sirleaf was not interested in education. You know, without education, without the top people just looking at stuff and everything, it's not all about you getting a payday and everything. And so, therefore, those sort of minds that have foresight and everything have to take effect. And if we have to do it from our side, fine, so be it. You know, the government of Liberia can't see the vision. Hey, that's important, but we're going to keep doing what we're doing. And then one day, we're going to have the right government in Liberia that gets it. But we're not going to wait on them. You know, we're just not going to wait on them. So
Yes, Brother Carlos. So this is it, family.
I can't find the show, man. Hold up. So you know what I'll do? I'll pull up from the WhatsApp.
What,
Okay.
what show you looking for?
So this show, I was gonna look in the chat.
Uh,
Okay, I did.
there's
Okay.
not much chat activity, you know how it goes. But yes, family, this is the reconnection to Liberia. So with all this beautiful information, this is just layout details. But what you got to do is go to our website, africafortheafricans.org. And once you're on there, you click on the Liberia link and you have full itineraries, overview, general terms, preparation details. And then beyond that, we just keep you posted with more and more information.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So yes, so Colin, the journey of a lifetime to Liberia is coming to fruition as we get more and more people interested in the journey.
Yeah, and they have to understand why this Liberia is so important. What separates Liberia from these other countries and everything? Liberia has a history of Pan-Africanism, and people always say, "Well, Pan-Africa is important." Now, let me tell you. Let's talk about the elephant in the room, right? Okay. Some people go to Africa, right, and they want to get into traditional stuff and everything like that, voodoo, I don't know, whatever, stuff like that. That's beautiful, right? But you got to understand something, right? When you talk about the history of the continent, right? Africa has to start catching up with the rest of the world. Okay, we basically we cannot keep seeing African youth going to Europe, right? Every time I look at, this person, Nigerian youth, I just saw this thing where this Nigerian youth did a web design for Italy. Why is that something to celebrate? It's the same thing, It's like you want a plantation, man, and they're saying, "Look at this brother, man. He just picked. This guy could slay some bales of cotton and everything like that. I mean, he's a prize slave, Why are we always going to someplace else, right? Talking about achieving. When is the achievement going to be on the African continent?
Yes.
Is African soil inferior? What is it about Africa that the continent? That's why Liberia is so important, because its stated goal was to be like anyone. Liberia, by the turn of the 20th century, had caught up with the rest of the world. Their civilization had caught up with. Let me say that again. Had caught up with the rest of the world. It surpassed countries like Portugal and Spain. Spain was so impressed by Liberia, they made Liberia a holiday. Spain, which once ruled the world, made Liberia a holiday. Say Liberia, they say the black man. They call Liberia Lazarus, the Black Lazarus. You know what Lazarus in the Bible was? Lazarus, the man who rise from the dead. That's the Black Republic. It rose from the dead. The black race rose from the dead in Liberia. The fact that you don't know about this country, and because of Liberia, it picked the whole entire black world was picked up and saying, we can do it. That's why Liberia, to me, is the most important country in Africa, as far as people, the diaspora is concerned. The most important country in Africa. All the other countries, we love them, but Liberia has a special place. A special place in the black world. So all this attempt to defame or defoul Liberia and whatnot is a coordinated attempt by ignoramuses, race traders, and white supremacists. White people on the internet, they can't Liberia was this country like this, They say, they try to say the southern U.S. First of all, Black America had the culture of Liberia comes from Black America, not the white South. Just like they try to make soul food a Southern cuisine. You ever notice that? Paula Deen, Southern cuisine. Her nasty ass can't cook. They took all the stuff, and made it their own. When it's something good, it's white, it's Southern. Just like Liberia, Liberians. They want to Americanize them because they were good. They created a country.
Great point.
It makes just common sense. If there was a complete failure, you think they would call them American Liberians? No. So, but because they were great and they did great things, suddenly they're Americo-Liberians and natives. But forget about the fact that there were native Liberians from day one who were educated and basically participate in the government and everything like that from day one. That the Grebos had a educated class, the Golos had an educated class, the Vi family, the Fambalas, and the Massaquois were the most powerful families in Liberia. You know, the Massaquoi, King Massaquoi married Hillary Johnson's daughter, and my sister Sine, you know, she's a red bone. You could tell because the Johnsons were like really light skinned, and the Massaquoi, you could tell she looks just like her great grandmother. And so, bottom line is this: there was intermarriage, there was all the stuff like that. It was a beautiful black civilization. Some were indigenous, some were people from the islands, some were people from America, some people from South America, some people came from Nigeria, some people came from Europe, but it was a cosmopolitan of black culture and society. So this nonsense about, oh, well, you know, no. So we basically are going to make Liberia that country that's great. We're going to make Liberia great again. You know, I used to make Liberia great again. You know, they got MAGA, you know, make Liberia great again. You know, MAGLA, make Liberia great again. You know.
Yes, brother. Make Liberia great again, always.
Make Liberia great again. So, bottom line is this: this country has to be the pinnacle of Pan-Africanism. No other country has a Pan-African history as Liberia does in Africa. No other country. You know, all these other countries, everybody took their cue from Liberia. Amilcar Cabral, you know, Patrice Lumumba, okay, Sekou Touré, okay, Kwame Nkrumah, you know, Samora Machel, you know, all these people, Nelson Mandela, and the ANC, spent time in Monrovia. Monrovia was a place where young African intellectuals all over the continent came to plot or plan how they're going to govern in the future. They came there and they said they didn't know anything about how governments work and everything, you know? They came to Liberia and said, how does this work when you meet diplomats, you know? The diplomatic protocol. Liberia had mastered the science of government over 100 years, from 1847 to 1947. They had mastered the science of government. They had the most efficient government on the continent of Africa. And because they were so good in everything, right there, it's like, they're Americo-Liberians. You want to Americanize it. Anytime somebody does good, they want to Americanize. Oh, what a great American, this, like that. You know, fuck America. Well, that's what they do. They Americanize you when not to de-Africanize you. Liberia was an African republic, a black African republic. So that's what it is.
Yes, brother. Excellent breaking down the breakdown. Yeah, because there's a lot of confusion of that our folks from the African diaspora was trying to treat people in what is known as Liberia as basically the way they were oppressed on the plantation. I mean, and these are just like some wild claims, but you know, you hear them all the time. So appreciate you breaking them down, brother. So educate.
Yeah, this idea. First of all, they understand something, right? Liberians, when they went there, if you look at you go there, right? The people that came to settle mainly on the rivers, like St. Paul River, St. John River, Farmington River, and all stuff like that, River Crest, Edina, and all these settlements, right? That I visited, right? And the people had homesteads, right? And a lot of Liberians had big families, right? A man would be 21, right? By the time he's 30, he got like 8 kids, whatnot. 40, he got like 20 kids. The kids basically lived on their own plot on the homestead, and they farmed. You know, they weren't using indigenous. Indigenous people didn't do the work that these people were used to in America. These were hardworking people, you know? These are hardworking people. They built stone mansions and stuff like that, you know. And so this idea that the indigenous people had their own society.
Check this out. Look at this comment.
Great fantasy, yeah. But the bottom line is this: anybody that said Adolf, you know, and got a white woman as their picture and whatnot, you know, come on, so Adolf. I didn't think anybody would still call themselves Adolfs. There's people still call themselves Adolfs. I thought that died out, man, you know. You know?
I mean, everything is a joke on the internet, man.
Everybody's a freaking clown, man. You know. It's a F Liberia, you know. Bottom line is Liberia is part of Black America, Black African American. These people are ADOS. What gets me is like this. If these people, let's say these people are serious about ADOS, right? If I was like, okay, I'm all about Black America, these people don't want anything to do with Africa. That's all it is, you know. Baruti said, why do YouTubers platform like Africa? Because they're ignorant and they're jealous, you know. You know, they don't understand the history. If they knew the history of Liberia, they wouldn't make that claim. Just like right now, they're trying to basically, because Paul Kagame is successful, they're trying to paint Paul Kagame as a problem in the Congo. Well, the problem in the Congo has been going on before Paul Kagame was even born. You see how it goes? And they know most Black people are ignorant and emotional, and it doesn't take much to trigger people into violence. You know, so when they talk about, we said they paid America. First of all, there was no such people called American Liberians. That's the one thing. The Liberians who ruled Liberia came from all different types of backgrounds and cultures. So what about the people from Barbados? Were they American Liberians? You know, what are the people from Jamaica? Were they American Liberians? What does America mean? And at the time, America didn't even have an American identity. Most people in America didn't call themselves Americans until the 20th century. People don't even know that history. Most people call themselves Virginians, Texans, Pennsylvanians, Crescents, you know, Bostonians, New Yorkers. No one called themselves an American until like World War I.
Who's this Baruti dude, man? You got a lot of questions.
I don't know why this guy. He's been.
How about you send some super chats or something? You know what I'm saying?
Send a super chat. Why this guy? I don't understand. I think why don't they ever call in? What is it about? I don't get it. You know, you have a lot of good questions. Why don't you call a dialogue or join the BAO social network? You know, you wait every week for Kyle to do a show. Join the social network, and you can engage me all the time. We'll put up forums, and I'll answer your question. You know,
some practical stuff, Kyle. That's what I'm talking about.
You know, bottom line is this: you want to know about Liberia, interest in Liberia? I'll teach you, but it can't be on a 2-hour show on my money show every time. You know, get with me. You know, get on the Ning site. You know, that's why I wonder is are people really serious about this shit anymore? You know, I'm always open. You know me, Bomani, right? I'm working. I'm calling. You know.
You stay on it.
Yeah, puff on a cigar. This is a cigar, folks. It's not that other thing.
A cigar that you know.
No, don't even try it. Don't even try it. You know I don't smoke. You know.
You can't see what you smoke anyway. There's a red banner across it. All they're gonna do is see smoke.
Oh, I'm dead. I'm finished. I'm finished now, man. See, Kyle smoking the joint on the.
And then you go, and then you hear the stereotype going. He's hanging out with them Jamaican people, start smoking that stuff.
Yeah, Kyle, I know he's Jamaican, man. He's smoking that wacky weed or that. He's smoking the ganja. You know, I do it. You know. You know.
But there you go, man. There you go. Join us.
Yeah, somebody want to come on and chat it up with us. Where's Big Black? You know, we might have to unblock now.
They're all watching people like Afrodamus because you know that's the entertainment session nowadays.
Yeah, I couldn't believe
everybody watching just.
Well, I don't understand some of these people, right?
You can laugh at
Dumbass thought he was going to have some alliance with Tariq, right? He swore he was going to have some alliance with Tariq. Then next thing you know, he's on Brandon's show. You know, and you know Brandon just loves everybody and whatnot. You know, and just lets them on and whatnot. I'm like, man, come on, man. I can't be on a panel with this fucking fool. I didn't call in for dumbass, you know. The Afro dumbass is like he's a Pan-Africanist now.
Wow.
You know? Maybe
And then
we
graduated.
yeah, maybe
Well,
well, he
who gave him
tried
the
to
credentials? Your boy gave him the credentials.
who?
Who gave him the credentials?
No, I guess he sees that his dumbass shit ain't going nowhere. We're clowning him all the time. So he's just like, oh, that makes sense. See, the whole thing is the bottom line is this. This is what it is. A lot of these people didn't think the Pan-African, they thought we were joking. They didn't think we were serious. But after a while, they're like, oh, these black people in America are going to Africa doing shit. I'm not doing a goddamn thing. I'm Afro dumbass. I'm supposed to foresee the future. Like Nostradamus. I'm Afro dumbass and I ain't doing a damn thing. Tariq didn't reach out to me, you know, because he tried to like he thought he was going to side with Tariq or Brandon to crush Pan Africa. Tariq doesn't give a shit about you motherfuckers over there. He hates you fucking. I don't know. I can't say what Tariq hates or not, but he knows he has an audience that don't like Africans, that don't like Caribbeans, you know? That's Tariq's audience. So he's not going to side with you on something. You know, if Tariq wants Tariq don't want to smoke with Pan-Africanists. He won't go that far. You know, so Afrodamus figured that out if he tried to reach out to Tariq. Oh yeah, I can tell you now, Africans like Tariq probably knows. You know, you don't have no power to stop these Pan-Africans in Africa. You know, you have no power to stop us, you know. So why am I getting with you? So he thought he was gonna have a boost because Tariq was gonna have him on and he was gonna get a following and ADOS people were gonna start sending him money and shit, you know. It didn't work out. It didn't pan out like that. So now he's like Thanos said, what does that bring you? Back to me. Remember that? What does that bring you? Back to me. So after dumbass, man, what does it bring you? Back to collar. You know, you're back to me. And welcome home after dumbass, you know. You have to, I'm just something you have to deal with, you know. You can't do anything about me. So everybody has to know collar's not going nowhere. And I'm just something you all have to deal with. The BAO basically stretches throughout the globe. You know, this ideology stretches out the globe. They're not on YouTube, but they're out there accomplishing shit, get shit done. All my guys out there, all my guys and women and everything like that. I can't wait till we break open Angola. My sister, the one that's going on the Liberia trip, I can't wait I hope that really works out for her in Angola, you know? And we start imagining that, we start building that Angola community. Oh my God, man. This game's over.
Beautiful thing, family. So
we're not going anywhere. Romani and Kala, the BAO, Africa of Africans, we're not going anywhere. This is a place where Pan-Africanism is taught and we're building, you know? I can't wait till when I go to Liberia. Hopefully, we can do shows from Liberia. You know, and I'm gonna give people reports and updates on all the stuff we're doing on the ground, firsthand. All the stuff we're doing on the ground and the progress we're making in Liberia. You know, because he's going to go to Ghana next month. He's going to show all the progress he's making in Ghana. Okay, we're going country by country. You know, we're going to basically build this thing. You know. It's going to spiral out of control that we can't handle it, you know? So it's happening. But the main thing is this, more than money and everything, is the spirit. It's that spirit of Black love and Black unity. That's what's going to do this. And that's why all these people like Afro dumbass, they can't stop this. Because we come in love. You know, we come in love. There's nothing Bomani and I have ever said that people can say, you know, that's irredeemable, what they're saying and everything like that. There's nothing. I said, look, as far as the Black man's concerned, I mean, I haven't seen anybody do anything that's irredeemable. You know, for the most part. You know, irredeemable. Despite the fact that people be grifting and everything, the only thing I think that's irredeemable is when people basically are out there spreading murder, death, and destruction to our people. That's unforgivable. When people are taking sides with the white and the Chinese and everybody else that's trying to destroy us, that's unforgivable. But for the most part, I may not like you. Like I don't like Tariq. I don't like Jason Black, but I don't consider them my enemies. You know, I don't consider Drake an enemy. I don't consider Jason Black an enemy. They're annoying as fuck. Same thing with rolling farting. You know a new word for rolling farting? Swollen farting. I don't even hate swollen farting. You know, he's just a Democrat. But the bottom line is everybody can be redeemed, man. Everybody's sins can be forgiven. You know, it's not that when the time comes when not all these people are going to come to the fold. They're going to be like, man, Kala, man, you were right all these years and everything like that. They're going to come. I know, because we're telling the truth. We have to build this global Black African pipeline. What's the truth? Do we have any major businesses going from Africa to Black America? No. So we have to build that. Anybody with common sense says, that makes sense. So why would anybody be against that? If we're shipping goods and investing and building farms and industries and tech companies and everything, we're linking up with young African Americans and Africans, the youth are linking up together on the continent to do projects and everything, and we're hosting that and we're facilitating that. Could that be result saying, how could all this be wrong? Are we wrong? No. So that's what we focus on. We focus on infrastructure. See, that's a trump card that I play. Are you against infrastructure? No. So what do we have to talk about? What are we arguing about? Do you think Uganda should build that pipeline with Tanzania? Yeah. Okay, we're on the same page. Okay, right. So that's what I said. But all the other stuff, I don't get involved with all the knickknacks and everything. I focus on infrastructure. I focus on education. I focus on energy, transportation. I focus on cultural exchange. All this stuff like that. How could that be wrong? I believe in LARP. Now, what is LARP? LARP is an acronym. It means logic, what's logical, what's achievable, what's reasonable, and what's practical. So if it's LARP, then let's do it. Now, some people, like this ADOS, whatever the hell that is in the chat room, right? They don't want us having anything to Africa at all because these are Black white people. These are chocolate-covered Negroes. They believe that we came out of America and we're Americans, period. No. If my ancestors came here during the transatlantic slave trade, part of me is in America, part of me is Africa. And all I'm doing basically is saying, hey, if I got all this in America and everything, I could also build in my ties. Why? Because the Jews have the state of Israel. When they want to do their Jewish stuff right now, you know what I used to know back in the days? There's a time period where you have to go home, right? And if you're around your white friends and everything like that, right? And they will basically be like, okay, you're playing basketball with you and everything. They're like, but there's sometimes they say, okay, well, I gotta go. Okay, yeah, you can't go here. Why? Because they're gonna go to something that you're not invited. That's usually something to do with their culture, their homeland. Every group of people have that, except for us. We got this guy, Michael Rappaport, that clown, man, who's all in our business, thinking he's like this stupid idiot, the stupid notion that, yeah, he's invited to the cookout. We have no privacy. The Pan-African movement is our African privacy. The world don't need to know everything we're doing. That's our private business. That's our private business. We're doing this for our posterity. We're doing this because not only do we have to, because we want to. People don't understand why people do certain things. Like you go, somebody like, oh yeah, this guy's been joined this cult, whatever, This guy joined a church. They joined a sect. And then all of a sudden your parents like, oh man, we gotta get him out of that set one night. Why? Well, he's happy there. He's a fellowship. You know how it is. Like, or when somebody joins a fraternity. But Monty, have you ever had one of your friends join a pledge to a fraternity?
Yes.
You know things change, right?
They fall into the cult.
Yeah, cool. But the thing is though, that's a good thing. Because he's basically saying we're friends and everything, but I gotta go with my pledge brothers.
Absolutely.
Same thing when we're pledging ourselves to the Pan-African world. Okay? We're saying that we have to go over here. I have to do this. You're not in this, so you can't be part of this. This is where we separate. Everybody has to have that. You know, you go to certain things where you go to somebody's house, right? Whatever, like that. Oh yeah, we're about to discuss business. You gotta go home. Well, why can't we? Well, we're about to discuss family stuff. You can't be in on this, you know? That's like any other group of people. But I want to make the Pan-African world like that. It's our business. It's our sacred business, you know? It ain't supposed to be broadcast all throughout the world and everybody like that put on a freaking clown show all the time. This is Pan-African business.
That's it, man. As you talk about Pan-African business, brother, let me just go through this information on our website for people that are interested in the Liberia journey. As you see at the bottom, phone number, email address, website details. So you can just literally just communicate and send the information. But as far as the information, once you're on our website, africafortheafricans.org, you look at the main menu and you click on Liberia Reconnection and Investment Tour, March 2024. Yes, so family, it's 2024, not 2023. So this gives you a good amount of time to get organized, get it ready. And this is a nice luxury journey / adventurous journey.
And historic.
There you go. It's there. There you go. And that's all tourism operation. These are the numbers here. Full package for the journey of a lifetime. And you're there for 9 full days. And as you know, things are subjected to change. So this is just the overview. I'm scrolling down to the 9-day tour highlight. Right. And these are some of the places that Kala been to and some of the places you have not. But we're going to do a nice, wonderful city tour around Monrovia. And in that city tour, also Liberian National Museum, Capitol Hill tour in Monrovia, University of Liberia. And also we have...
I tell you, brother.
Go ahead.
I tell you, in Cape Mount, right, we just got a hold of an old Episcopalian church. We're renovating. We're going to make it to a school. So we will see that too in Cape Mount, in Robertsport. You know, it's a beautiful old building. I remember seeing it. It's white stone. What a beautiful. The light they must have had overlooking the ocean. You know, on a road. You know, overlooking the ocean. You know, it's beautiful. Liberia was nothing short of heaven on earth. You know, it was nothing short of heaven on earth. So we're gonna do that. We renovate that school. We're gonna be doing a lot of stuff in there. We got a lot of people in the BAO and beyond BAO, outside of BAO, that's doing a lot of stuff in Liberia. And we're making Liberia a homeland, a place where Black people from America can really easily settle down, live, buy a home, you know, a vacation home, live there year round, retire. One brother that has a 401, he's over there in Liberia building, doing construction, right? Has a construction business, and he has a 401k. You know, he has a 401. He's retired, and he's living in Liberia right now, just doing it. African American brother. You know, so we have a lot of stuff on the people who are discovering Liberia. They said, man, this is great, man. They see how easy it is to start a business over there and own property and everything. It's so modern. It's the most modern country really in Africa as far as like land laws and stuff and business.
And there you go, family. So it's a world of opportunity. And these are just a few lists of some of the things that we're going to be visiting and places. But the goal is to take you on an incredible venture, and there's a full itinerary list laid out. And we have a nice, incredible business and investment conference we're going to be organizing. So this is just the layout, and we're just going to keep working at it and just build that foundation and build that bridge. So we do these things through our incredible tourism operation, and that open things up to where you have more and more people into checking out the country, and then we get to do our own tourism videos and own historical videos of Liberia. So we can have someone like Kala somewhere as a historical scholar breaking it down, and somewhere as he been breaking it down, but this time he just be on the ground in front of monuments and places of historical factor. This so we have like Providence.
The Masonic Temple on Benson Street. We gotta go to that. The Masonic on Snapper Hill, base a beautiful temple.
Part of the city tour right there.
Huh?
So there you go, family. Yes, that's in the city.
You said you got it. Masonic Temple, yeah.
Yeah, Grand Masonic Temple. So some of these things are part of the city tour. Family, a lot of arts and culture places. Different islands. As you know, Liberia is just connected. I have a few different islands in a nice tropical West Africa. So all up and down the coast, we've been in West Africa, and it's where you're gonna really, where you find truly Black Africa, where you have a Black, energy, and it's not dominated by any other people. People, we just got to get ourselves organized on a stronger level. But that is it, family. So also we have Tropical Paradise, Sunset Beach, social gathering, Buchanan Tropical Paradise, Grand Bassa County. So just fun for the whole family, and also the main highlight in our lodging is RLJ Candasia Resort and Villas, and that is the Bob Johnson Hotel, Mr. BET. So family, once you click on this link, you see this nice luxurious 4-star resort. So that is it. Excuse me, 5-star resort, right? It's
4-star resort.
All right. So there you go, family. And then the next journey that we're taking after this Ghana journey coming up is Senegal and Gambia Roots and Culture Journey, March 30th to April 10th, 2023. So all of these are journeys to get you connected in Africa. And what we have to do is take it to that next level and just put our money together and invest in group operations and learn the system, learn how things work, and then put more of a collective effort from with those of us that are serious about this thing and not just talking about Pan-Africanism, but just literally their mindset is about living it and making it happen. All right, so that is a nice short little overview. But nevertheless, family, for those who are serious, you just reach out to us, and let me flip this over, see what else we got, Kala.
Yeah.
And then after a while, we got to close out as we're approaching the time. Yes, family, the journey of a lifetime continues. Liberia. Must be nice and cozy out there.
Oh yeah, loving it. In my garage now.
Yeah, I can see your garage. Your pull-up bar.
I built a desk down here. Everything like that. So
great business operation starts in garages.
Yeah, well, I got an office, but I might do some work down here. Too,
You
set this up for the show. Set this up really for the show.
Yeah, definitely.
Because it's like more relaxing down here. I can smoke my cigar. You
There you go, family. Smoking his cigar.
Now I can smoke my cigar down here.
There you go,
I
family.
like sometimes I'm doing shows. I'm like fiending for my cigar, and then what I'll do is I'll go outside and smoke. You know, the mirror. I say, "Look, I'm going downstairs. That's you. I'm smoking my cigar." Now I can sit right here. So if we ever do a long show again, I can be like, "Okay, I can sit right here the whole time." You know, I don't have to go outside no more. Plus, it's cold outside. You know.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And yeah, they're just enjoying a nice breeze. But there you go, family. So this is the next one of our flyer operations. So family, this is an operation serious about the move of repatriation. We'll put the work in, and we're here to represent you on land that you can build your empire and build your what you need to build. So we can have a nice community that we can focus on Black cooperative economics and just build, all of the infrastructures that we need to just be able to just enjoy paradise in Africa. We're talking about repatriating and living and doing business in Africa, but we also need our peace of mind and our peace of paradise. So these are things that we have to build in order to get it. So this is our venture right here, Black Star Pan African Community. And I'm always telling people, don't be listening to them people talking about free land and stuff like that. And people out there from
Yeah. Why don't you talk? Why don't
running
you
into
talk
free
about that?
land.
Why don't you talk about that a little bit?
Always, brother. I'm telling people that, we have a whole enterprise here set up. You know what I mean? A whole corporate operation.
Nothing free in this world.
Corporate operation. So all of the people that we work with to just get this deal done, make sure everybody is paid, and that's how you work this thing, family. And then you want to make sure the right people are paid. When you're dealing with some communities or some town, it's complicated because you have too many people who are so-called in charge.
Right.
So one of the things is, I want to tell people the way we build our deal is, we have some of our best people that we trust, that we've worked together for, many years in the world of tourism and repatriation and building business in Africa. So, this is no amateur hour. This is something that you have to be out there in the field. You have to be an expert field agent, in order to pull this thing off. So we put all the right people out there, and then you have to just do a whole lot of land search research, and then you have to get confirmation from the people who manage land operation, and also you have to do your field research in the town where you're going and doing business. So people like myself, I can pull those things off because I have the background. Plus, when you work with failures like Garvey Town and then one or two other projects that have didn't work out well, you end up learning from those things. And so we came up with a whole new incredible operation of how to just do land development from the ground up, so that's what we pull off, brother. So just tell people that if they need help, the consultation is available. When you're on our website, africaforafricans.org, right there on the main menu, right there, offer all kind of service, relocation, repatriation, consultation, Africa tourist investment. I spent 16 years in Africa doing these operations, so continuous experience, and I got people in different places. So it's one of those things where people need help. They just need to reach out to right people because some of these things that people are making a move on. I understand that some people feel like, hey, they know what they're doing and things like that. But unless you live in that world and you have your connections there, it's not the same situation. Trust me. You will get worked over. I've seen the best come, and I've seen the best come and go. And some thought there was hot stuff, and then till they got ran out of the country.
Yeah.
Or so. And then what I mean by that is when you're not properly organized and things like that, and you don't have things in place because you think you're just gonna start a miracle business in a country like Ghana and get rich in 2 days. Good luck.
No, I heard about that. Check this out. I was talking about oh boy, Nee Sampa, right? That chick that got hit in Ghana over land, wherever, Leslie Jones.
Yeah, what about it? Yeah, I heard about it. Yeah.
She came to Ghana, and what you were doing in America? She was an Uber driver.
Oh, she one of them. Oh, she one of them luxury Uber drivers that make like 5 G's a month.
What makes her think she can go to Ghana and just get a luxury house built or not? You know,
Well, she gonna
I
do
don't
Uber
get it.
there. She gonna do Uber there. She got a job. She have an international job now.
How you gonna do Uber in Ghana? You don't make that much. Yeah, come on. Yeah, I know you're being facetious, man. Come on, but yeah. But goddamn, man, like, damn, you went to. That's what people think, man. And look, all these people, not trying to shine on them, right? But let's be honest. These people are not Pan African. They're not in the BAIO. You know, they're not part of us. They're just people going off freelance, and they make these stupid decisions. They want to lump us all in the same category with these goofballs. You know, we go there with lump us all. Oh man, going to Africa, they think it's a running joke. You know, but the thing is, me, Melania, and several other people, we're actually making progress. You know, look what Brandon's doing with Dynas. You know, we're sticking to it. You know, not over promising and stuff like that. So they know that there's people here that's serious and everything like that. And I don't mess with nobody. I don't think that's not serious. And so maybe not be, we all have our disagreements and stuff like that. But, and also like that Kay and Kells, right? They were talking about that. Oh, Kay and Kells, the fat chick that she brought the dude over, and they were talking about there's no snacks over here. And we have these goofballs get on YouTube, and I don't know if they're trying to sabotage the movement or what, but they come and go. And we forgot about them. We all forgot about who ES is, Art Cathy, and all this other people like that, It was good for entertainment, but it's done, man, and we're still here. So if you thought you were going to discourage us and all this stuff like that, you were sadly
Let's get back to that. See, family, the real ones have stand the test of time. When you talk about greatness, greatness is something over a period of time. I mean, you have a lot of these people, they may be more popular with their drama and craziness, and they come and go. Just like Nigopian, he was hot for a little minute.
I mean, he was to be honest with you, man, I was getting nervous there for a little while.
He did call out some. He did call out some folks. I mean, so not all of his stuff was like a lot of his stuff was bootleg and fraudulent, but some of his stuff was real. There's one person that he stayed on.
You know what I'm saying? We're not gonna say nothing, but
and he staying that person for no reason.
Yeah. So I'm like, damn, man. I'm like, and also I can't come to your age. Oops.
But yeah, nigga P ran into the wrong. He ran into the wrong.
But I told him, I said, yo, you done fucked up, man. So yeah, but I said, oh no. I said, I knew it. I said, you done fucked up, man. He just like, oh, but why? I said, dude, man, I told him, I said, you fucked up. And then he says to me, Colin, man, they're trying to be like this. You seem like you're a reputable guy, right? Because I don't have nothing on YouTube. You have nothing on me, so I know you did your research. You couldn't find nothing. So I know he did his background on me. Couldn't find nothing right there. And he went into Liberia and tried to find dirt on me in Liberia. He couldn't find it, And so he's like, why are you messing with Bomani? I said, Bomani's my brother. Bomani's my brother, And I stand by him, to the bitter end, So bottom line, bring it, And I know all the stuff like that, Oh, he's like, dude, man, that's not what happened. And then he tried to bring in Garvey Town, try to blame me for Garvey Town, and everything like that. I said, and just
Garvey Town,
dirt and everything like that, man. I said, when the smoke clears, the truth comes out,
And then we're still here, family. About to go back on that land. Got more people moving on it. More people getting ready to build. And our stuff is all in the system. So it's like, I'm telling people, hey.
The bottom line, we build these Black Star Pan-African community in Ghana. We're going to build them all over the continent. These are going to be places where you can go live. We have gated communities, industrial zones. We have all that shit. So you can live a comfortable life on the African continent with healthcare, everything,
Okay, we're going to bring it, family. So that's why we're doing everything the smooth way. We build a foundation and make everything work. and you know, we don't take no shortcuts and things like that. I mean,
Ain't nothing for free either.
some of those legal bills are very pricey. It's what it is. But if you're gonna go this far into investing this amount of money on land and a development, you can't make those shortcuts. And that's what I've seen with all the other projects have been around us, brother. It has hurt me because it's almost little to no other project like what we have around during that. You know, I mean, it's not, you know, it's something that should be very popular, something that with all of our great minds, we should be able to come together and make it work. But I've seen these things go the opposite way. You know what I mean? And that's from a person that believe in order, like military style order, where we know, you know, where it's a group of people and we're getting things done.
Yep. Yeah, we get something like military style, man. Logistics.
Order, you know, operation, logistics, execution. All, you know, all hands on deck type. You know,
we got people, man. I don't understand something, right?
Training
I'm glad
people to be the best.
That we got people that got African Americans who going to Liberia, who got and Liberians who going back to Liberia, building like they work in the city of Philadelphia for. They say I'm gonna go back to Liberia and work with the water system, work the sewer systems, and stuff like that. Bringing those skills. We need skills to the continent. We don't need basically big mouth talk. We need freaking skills. People that could do stuff, man. Somebody, let me tell you something. Somebody who was a superintendent in a city that got the codes and all that in a city like Philadelphia, you know how valuable you are to a Pan-African movement? You know everything. Oh, this is the way it should go. This is the way it should go. This is the way, all that stuff like that. We got all these skills in America. Now the white man fucked up, man. That's why you think now they realize they fucked up. They taught us all these skills, just like Liberia. How do you think Liberia was built? You have black people who were building homes, mansions, and everything for the white folks. And when they were in Liberia, they knew all this shit. They knew how to dig ditches, build streets, drain swamps. They took all those skills in Liberia and built the country for themselves. And we're doing the same thing. We're bringing our skills to the African continent and building. You know, we got contractors, we got engineers, we got everything. We want all those people to go over and say, yeah, I want to participate in this. You know, bring your skills, bring your money. You know, we want to have nice places to live, you know.
There you go, man. So that's the vision of our family. And since we're dealing with Africa, we have land there. We have all aspects of things there, and we're just looking for new people to join the party, whether they're doing industrial or residential. And it's a whole beautiful town.
We need to build that industrial zone. You know, that will be a game changer, man. We're gonna probably need help, international help, right, to build that industrial zone. Can you imagine us having our own? And it's like a dream, man. We have industrial workers locally, and like flooding in there and everything. Then you got more people buying homes and buying apartments, and it'll be a boom. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, we need that. You know, we need that. You know, also we'll have something on the continent. Also, our cities will be dotted on the map. You know,
boom, boom, boom. Build a new civilization, man. Build a new civilization.
So people say, are you trying to build you trying to build a nation? No, we're building cities, municipalities, right? Where we can govern ourselves.
Within a nation, and that's gonna cause the same thing that happened in Liberia.
Oh, yeah.
That's a common craziest thing I've heard consistently.
Like yeah, people they don't know the history of Liberia. They don't know the history of Liberia.
And then this ain't no division or anything. You're creating opportunities to work with your own people. I don't understand how more closer you can come.
What it is this, right?
People.
What it is this, right? A lot of people, let's say they go to Ghana, right? A lot of these people, besides writing books and doing lectures, they got no skills. They got nothing, right? So when you come there and say, let's build something, which makes sense, you know, because you don't want to burden. If you build a community, you're going to build your own clinics, your own hospitals and everything, and the local people will benefit.
Definitely.
From your presence there. Also, I say like this. I told about people in Angola. I said, we build the territories in Angola, right? You guys have a lot of stuff to sell us. Who do you think you guys will get rich by selling us goods and services? And they were like, well, yeah, we would. Instead of exporting to Europe, you guys export
right? Mm-hmm. Huh? People don't be thinking about these simple, basic.
Damn, I never thought about that. And we build communities and whatnot. You guys can open. They can open stores and markets and everything, and we'll be buying from you. You get rich, and that's what does it, right? Let me tell you something. When you create the opportunity, when you see local Ghanaians, and we build our own markets and supermarkets and everything, and people are making money and everything, they're like, oh man, yeah, Liberia is a good place for retirees, but you have some money. You can build a house really cheap.
Yes.
You could build a nice house for $40,000. $40,000, you could build a nice 2-story house in Liberia, close to the ocean and everything like that, and a gated community. There's gated communities all over. Liberians are no joke. They're building gated communities on it. Liberians are returning, and some African Americans are returning and stuff like that. Yes, it's a great place, to retire to, and even work. It's a great place. So and what we're saying is, when we start building these communities, right, we want to add value, right? We want to add value. If you got like, let's say 5,000 people and they all have Medicare, right, and they have a Medicare plan that's like, I sell Medicare plans, right? They can sell overseas, right? Then the hospital and clinics could bill their medical your health insurance, right? You got companies like AARP will get involved, and so just like you got Filipinos that master this, you got a lot of Filipinos retiring into the Philippines, right? And they bring in their healthcare coverage and their Social Security benefits to the Philippines. That's adding value to the country because you're influxing country. Do you know how much money, even life insurance, right? If you got a life insurance policy, and that's wealth. A health insurance plan is wealth, because that healthcare plan will basically, a hospital in Africa can build that healthcare facility for yourself. That's added value, But you don't want to go to Africa with no health insurance. With no health insurance, right? I sell travel insurance. Diane sells travel insurance, and accidental insurance, stuff like that. If you come like that, you got health insurance, you got burial insurance, something happens to you or something like that, you're adding value to the country, right? Even your automobile insurance, if you port that over there, you're adding value. You're creating opportunity for the local economy. So all these things people take for granted in America. You you have if you live in America, you got a healthcare plan, you got 401k. One day Liberia and these countries will have this stock exchange. You could probably go into invest some of your money into a local stock exchange. You're talking about Black America business out. Black America in home ownership, they said it was undervalued by equities, undervalued by $300 billion. That means there's almost $1 trillion worth of equity in Black American home ownership. You could take that equity out and buy a whole freaking subdivision in Africa. You could buy land. You could buy everything. You could buy apartment buildings. You get rich. There's a whole lot of opportunity, to invest. We have never been that investment people, because we want things right up front. We don't want investment takes long term and everything, So this person said, I'm just babbling. Why are you on here? Why are you here? And bottom line, people are just babbling this ADOS FBA shit. I wonder what the ADOS FBA. Now, I've been trying to reach out to the ADOS FBA people, right? I'm saying, man, like, let me give you an example. I posted on Facebook. There's a nice Black community in Portsmouth called Crystal Lake. Nice mansions. Black community. The white people are trying to move in and buy those houses, the mansions. Now, you don't see no ADOS FBA saying, yeah, what can we do to make sure these neighborhoods? No, they don't care about that. All the ADOS FBA people are trolls. They don't care about Black America.
All trolls?
They're saying, well, how come we don't make our neighborhoods, the ones that believe in America so much, how come you're not patrolling your neighborhoods, right? With neighborhood watches and stuff like that? How come you're not reporting crime?
That's it, brother.
One of the main reasons why people want to move that build in Africa and overseas is because they're tired of crime in Black America.
Yeah, unfortunately. So,
but the ADOS FBA people that think this, there's no crime. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, one thing I can say, brother, I've been to 10 countries in Africa, and those are some of the most peaceful times ever. Where you just you're somewhere maybe for a week or two or a few weeks, and the level of little to no crime that goes on is unbelievable.
Yeah, Liberia is a very peaceful
The
place.
way you are, you're like, yo, somebody would have been shot, stabbed, party this, party shootout, something would have happened.
Yeah.
And then but yeah, always, man, it's so peaceful in Africa, man. From the first year going in 2004 to this nonstop 18 years later, it's been the same situation, and not no certain violence have probably gone up in certain countries, but for the most part, the continent is just relatively this less violence than just what most of us in urban areas just know about. And all we have to do, like we talk about family, you build institutions, you build the infrastructure that you need. You already got this.
This is a quorum, a Nicaraguan cigar. It ain't cheap.
See, ain't cheap, but seriously, so definitely, brother, man, always definitely connecting, and we're gonna keep letting people know about the energy in Liberia, but family, we're gonna the same concept. We're gonna be working family towards investment, a whole bunch of this other operation, and then Carla is looking to expand all kind of different business and push the BAIO incorporation there to another level. So a lot of people, we have connection with land and all kind of things going on to where, one person said, "Is Liberia good for retirement?"
Yes.
I think, brother, that'll be the ideal place. And I mean, we talked about that earlier. Answer that person's question, yes. But the more we can set up these things in Africa,
You know what gets me about retirement
the
Africa?
more it'll make it work. Go ahead.
People in retirement Africa don't sit still. Sometimes when people retire, they come to life at 65. They're like, wow. They start opening up building their own farm. They start building.
You gotta stay active, or your body will just die off.
Yeah, people don't. It's not like in America where you just retire and die off and whatnot. In Africa, you people just getting started. They open up a business. They go into the beach. They're going to stuff like that. So retirement in Africa is different than retirement in America.
Serious business, brother. So let me stop this. So once again, family, you can just link us on the website. Any of those details about Liberia, and we'll just get you connected. We're gonna take it to a whole nother level. We're gonna just document the energy and just put it out there. You're talking about an incredible country where when you fly over it, there's nothing but land, and more land. And for the most part, outside of Monrovia, there's nothing but land.
Nothing but land.
And that's what we're talking about in Africa, family. The continent is seriously big, with a whole bunch of.
Don't let anybody tell you, oh, you gotta get it and whatnot because land's going fast. No, it's plenty of land.
Yeah, enough for generations.
There's more land than there's people to fill it.
The way there's no land, Europe.
Yeah, Europe, America.
So. That's it, family. So, Carla, until next time, and maybe another time, Tuesday or so, we just see who want to join in. But I think we have ran all the raggedy folks off, the Negropeans off, to where they don't even come on anymore.
Yeah, I miss them.
Negropean, not measy. You know what I mean? The collection of them.
I would like to see what you should unblock Navigate. I want to see what he has to say.
On Navigate, I don't think I ever blocked them, man. Navigate is probably no, that's just usually one show. These are not permanent blocks. It's one show.
Yeah, Navigate. If you're out there, man, show your face, man. We want to know what's going on with Sabo. We wish you all the best of luck, to tell you the truth, but ain't nothing free in this world, bro.
Yeah, stop pushing that fake stuff about free. Yeah, that's it. Anybody tell you that they got some free land for you in Africa, run from them.
Yeah, run from them. Yep.
Every time I tell the chief we're dealing with, and some of my staff members in Ghana, they're like, they just like, They're like, who came up with this freelance scam? Because they know they can't get no free land.
Yeah, the bottom line is
Not this day and age.
the chief got money up front, you know, and people pay and they give them fees and everything like that, you know. Pan Africa was dead, you know. I don't know, where's Adolf's FBA? You know, they don't even do shows no more, you know.
I mean, them to put a person on timeout. There you go. You gotta put a person on timeout like a child. Pan-Africanism dead. That's such a weak comment. I mean, okay, and explained and
we're still here.
Yeah, the Pan-Africanism is a vehicle. They still don't understand that.
Yeah, the bottom line is, as long as people need infrastructure, as long as people have to build with people of like mind and like race, Pan-Africanism is gonna be here. As long as there's black people on this planet, it's gonna be Pan-Africanism. You know, as simple as that.
And yes,
so we're gonna show you in Liberia Pan-Africanism, because Liberians and Black African Americans work together like it ain't nobody's tomorrow. The president of Liberia is married to a Jamaican. You know, the bottom line is this. You know, and her brother's a Pan-Africanist. You know, and the bottom line is, the Pan-African world is growing.
Yes, family, it is.
Now, Dusty Goofy Pan-Africanism was dead. I admit that, you know. Dusty Trifling Pan-Africanism was dead, but the real shit is still here.
Yes, my brother, absolutely, man. So, on that note, brother, let's close it out, man. And our family,
right, brother,
right there. Let's keep in touch, and we'll keep it strong and keep you posted on all of our Africa tours, investment, and everything that we're doing as far as us reconnecting you to the incredible journey of a lifetime, African continent. And no one does it like we do it. I mean, we'll experience 16 years strong, 18 years traveling to the continent. Liberia is coming up to be country number 12. Then that'll be country number 11, Rwanda, and country number 12, Liberia. And we're not here chasing all kind of different countries. We're just trying to find an ideal amount of countries in Africa that we can just expand and connect and do business with. And Liberia is that future operation for us, family. So this is going to be a life-changing journey of a lifetime. And the journey continues, family. So see you on the next live screen, and then look for all of our updates from our Tanzania photos and videos online.
Yeah, I can't wait to see that.
Yeah, some of them are already up, but we don't ever stop uploading videos and pictures, so we're gonna be uploading more pictures. And
if you can upload something to the link site, it'd be great.
I'll find some of the better ones to do that. So that's the best ones are on there. So I got you. And that's how we do it, family. We're just keeping it strong, keeping it going, and the journey continues.
All right, brother.